Welcome back to the Rodecast, guys. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be looking at more federal immigration action. Particularly in this video, we're going to be looking at a raid that happened at a violent criminal's house who attacked ICE agents at a protest. And then the ICE agents and U.S. Marshals went to his house to arrest him, and they got his parents as well, who were illegals in this country. Now he's whining about the fact that he was raided and complaining about how horrible ICE and the feds were during this arrest.
New at 6 tonight, an inside look at the impact of immigration raids in the Chicago area. One family says they've been torn apart after 5 members were detained.
Only 2 of them have been released. WGN's Emmy Victor has the story from Northwest Indiana.
Only 2 of them have been released because only 2 of them are not clear criminals. Okay. One of them is a violent criminal who attacked ICE agents at a protest. That's why this raid happened in the first place, involving the U.S. Marshals, and ICE was also there. And then it happens that 3 of the people there are illegals. So they were arrested on civil immigration charges and most likely will be deported back to their countries. Okay. So look at how they started this. A family has been torn apart. A family has been torn apart because one of them is a violent criminal and that same one is also illegal. They've been torn apart because of their own actions of breaking into this country illegally. The people who were actual legals, they were released. Okay, the ones who are actual U.S. citizens, who have a right to be here. Hopefully in the future we can, pull that cord. They're both anchor babies, of course, because their parents are illegals. But after the Supreme Court gets rid of birthright citizenship for illegal aliens, they'll be gone too. But until then, they're legal for now.
A Gary family is speaking out about an ICE raid at their home. They say they were taken here to the Gary Police Department before being separated.
You can see here clear as day the ramming they tried doing, and then here you could barely see it, but this is where the door folded up.
Arnaldo Carrillo says his family experienced something they believe no one should ever have to go through.
I just see flashlights going through my front window, and then all of a sudden I just hear U.S. Marshals open up.
Around 6 a.m. on October 20th.
If you don't want to go through a raid by federal agents, don't break the federal law. That's what I would tell Carrillo over here. Okay, I haven't experienced it. You know why? Because I'm not a federal criminal who attacked ICE agents and also broke into the country illegally. I didn't do those things because I'm a law-abiding person and not a lunatic, and an entitled lunatic at that, who thinks they can break into other people's countries and nothing's going to happen to them. This is the wrong message that America's been sending, that these disgusting people can come here. You are not welcome here. And we're going to drag you out if you break into our country.
Carrillo says federal marshals and ICE agents came to his Gary home, giving his family minimal warning before forcing their way inside.
They just shouted aggressively. They just rammed the door open. Then they only gave us about a minute, maybe less, before they just decided to take extreme measures of just busting the door open.
A neighbor who didn't wish to be identified says
a minute is quite a long time. But nevertheless, like I said, if you don't want them coming to your house, don't commit federal crimes. Not very difficult. But apparently for Juan over here, it is difficult. That's why he's got a black eye, because he resisted and he got his ass punched in the face. Good job, Juan. You get a taco for that.
The raid was so loud, his Ring camera picked up some of the audio. Carrillo says his family was hit and strangled despite following the agent's orders.
They just went ahead, grabbed me, choked me around the neck, which I was sore for the next couple of days because of how hard they grabbed me.
Yeah, I'm sure the agents choke you for no reason. Look at the stories this guy's telling. Okay. He wants us to believe that federal agents, who from what I've seen are very professional, he wants us to believe that these agents who came to execute a federal warrant, finally they had that beloved judicial warrant that the, left-wing activists are always asking for. Where's your warrant? Where's your warrant? Well, this time they had a warrant for this guy who attacked ICE agents. And of course, they're still whining. They're still complaining. There are no protesters here because it's obviously at a house, but this guy's still whining. Even if they have a warrant, they're not satisfied. Nothing is ever enough, which means they don't want the illegals arrested for any reason. That's what you draw from this. They don't care about warrants. They don't care about identification. They don't care about masks. They just want these illegals to be able to stay here forever. They want America to be a third world country. They want us to turn into Latin America. And it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why Kristi Noem is doing the right thing, and everybody else working for ICE, all these agents. I'm eternally grateful for their work, trying to reverse the third worldification of America.
Scratched me to the floor, which is why that bruise is right there. And then they just decided to take a low blow and just punch me in the eye.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Again, look at what he's saying. They punched him for no reason. Okay. And you can see in this video that he's resisting. The agents are saying, stop resisting, stop resisting. He was resisting. That's why he got punched. But he wants to now pass off the blame for his black eye to the agents instead of his own actions. No. You've been warned. You keep resisting. That's what he just said. That's what the agent just said. And that's probably when he was hit, because he kept resisting. No way this one went down without a fight. This one here. Okay, all these people are heavily entitled, and they never want to take responsibility for their actions, and they always want to pawn off the blame to someone else, which is what he's doing right now.
Which I was sore for the next couple of days because of how hard they grabbed me. They scratched me to the floor, which is why that bruise is right there. And then they just decided to take a low blow and just punch me in the eye.
Carrillo says his parents are Mexican nationals who've lived in the United States for more than 20 years. He and his 2 siblings are U.S. citizens. All 5 of them were detained last week. While he and his sister have since been released, his parents and brother remain in custody in facilities around the country. According to the Department of Homeland Security, federal agents went to the home to arrest Rosario Onodo Carrillo Lopez. They say on October 13th, the father of 3 rammed into a vehicle ICE officers were using to carry out a mission.
So that's the dad, okay? So I was confused about the names because their names are horrible, and they have like 4 of them, and they all sound the same. So I was kind of confused about which one was which. So the 2 people you see on the left, the glasses, the 2 wearing glasses, they've been released. The other 3 on the right side, they're illegals. And the one wearing an orange/red shirt there, the bearded one, that's the dad. And he's a criminal. He literally attacked ICE agents at a protest. That's why the federal marshals were there, to arrest this violent criminal. Okay, that's what this is all about. For most likely, they looked into the family before they went, so they knew that there were other illegals at the house. And that's when all of them were detained. Okay, and rightfully so. The dad is a criminal, literally, twice over. He's an illegal, plus he went to a protest and attacked ICE agents, tried to prevent them from doing their job. And then the one that's talking right now, that's the son, one of the sons, and he's been released. And his sister has also been released. But the other 3 are illegals, and they've been detained. And they're going back to Mexico real soon.
We're told during the execution of this warrant, agents and deputy marshals clearly and plainly advised in English and Spanish that they had a criminal warrant for the arrest of Carrillo Lopez. Rather than complying with their commands, agents and deputy marshals were required to forcibly enter the home and were subsequently attacked by those residing at the residence. Carrillo says
at least this time, they actually waited for a statement from ICE. So this clarifies exactly what happens. And if you watch the full body cam video, I guarantee you that this statement by ICE, most likely this is by Trisha McLaughlin, is 100% correct. You can always take Trisha's words to the bank. Okay. That's why, like, everything that they have said matches up. That's why none of these lawsuits that these idiots are filing about how excessive force was used against them by ICE is going to pass, because as soon as a judge sees the body cam footage, lawsuits are going to be tossed out the court. Okay, even it doesn't matter if it's a liberal judge or whatever, the lawsuit cannot continue because they're lying. Okay, they're lying about excessive force used by ICE. The ICE agents are trained on liability for their agencies. That's basic training at ICE, at all federal agencies. Okay, you don't take violent action unless necessary to protect the ICE agents, to protect themselves. And even that, you only take that when you are threatened. Your job, then you can just restrain them using reasonable force. So these statements are usually spot on.
Carrillo says they've hired an attorney to maintain their innocence and to try to keep the family together.
I just want my family back, and that's the best.
So all of them can go back together. There doesn't need to be any separation. There doesn't need to be any families being ripped apart. At the beginning of the story, this guy started by saying that there's going to be family separation, but there doesn't need to be.
New at 6 tonight, an inside look at the impact of immigration raids in the Chicago area. One family says they've been torn apart after 5 members were detained.
Yeah, they don't need to be torn apart. You guys can all go back together. So there doesn't need to be any tearing apart. That's up to you. Okay, you can take the whole family back with you.
Keep the family together.
I just want my family back, and that's the best case scenario. And if not, if they are going to deport my mom and dad, just for a quick process.
Oh, they'll be quick. Don't worry. They'll be quick. You'll be gone soon, very soon.
A GoFundMe started for the family has raised over $23,000. According to the Post, the family is engaged in their church community and are leaning on their faith right now. Reporting in Gary, Emmy Victor, WGN News.
That will be all the white people with guilt, white guilt, giving him money.
According to the Post, the family is engaged in their church community and are leaning on their faith right now.
Yeah, keep praying to Jesus, because nobody in this world that's actually real is going to come and help you. Because you broke in the law and you broke into a country, my country, where you don't belong. And now you're going to be going back there. That's what's happened to Correo here and the other two of them that are illegal. Okay. No amount of praying is going to solve the fact that you're criminals who broke into other people's country. So keep praying to your Jewish God in hopes that he will come and save you. I guarantee you that he will not, because Odin is on my side and America's side. And that's the bottom line for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.